So Isla Design rugs were a natural extension to our fabric and wallpaper range. As interior designers, we were looking for classic timeless rugs, but with a more contemporary, fresh feel like our fabric range. And we were finding it quite hard to find that. And even if we did find a rug that we liked, it tended to be the wrong size. So with most large living rooms, or if you've got a large dining room table or a king-size bed, you really do need a larger rug than the standard size. So it became a bit tricky to find what we wanted. So rugs are important because they're the foundation of a room. Not literally because they are the foundation we put our furniture on, but because they're the building blocks, the sort of anchor to build up the design scheme from there. There are so many fabrics and wallpapers, not to mention paint colours, all of which you can start a design scheme with, but then you're stuck. You find a fabric you love, we could call that, say, the hero design, and you just love it and you want to build your whole scheme around it, but then you're stuck because you can't find a rug that works with that. So we tend to we start with the rug we love, and then we can build on that, find the fabrics, the paint colours, and work on our scheme from there. So Isla Design has a number of ranges of rugs. We have hand-woven rugs, which are made from very soft, chunky boucle wool. Because they're hand-woven, they tend to be a much softer design because we can't get the detail that we would with a hand-knotted rug. They're more transitional style, so they work really well with contemporary interiors, but also more classic interiors too, where you want a softer palette or softer style. We've then got the traditional Uşak rugs, which are a Turkish design, but they're interpreted more in a modern way, in a fresher colour palette. So we have some very fun sort of dolly colours, going into more softer muted colours, into the soft blues and greens, and then also a new range of muted vintage Uşak style rugs, which are made with a distressing technique to make them look like an old rug. So these all work really well with different styles, but all classic, but also very fresh contemporary. And then we have our superfine rugs, and these are made with very small tight knots. Some of them are based on our Isla fabrics, and then we have a vintage style rug. We love vintage rugs because they are timeless, they've got soul. If you can find a vintage rug that is very muted in colour and is the right size, it really is a beautiful, timeless heirloom piece for your home. But it's very hard to find that. So we've created some vintage style rugs that look like vintage rugs, but you can have them in any size that suits you, and we can also modify the colours as well. All our rugs are made from pure New Zealand wool, and they're made with artisans who have been working hand knotting and hand weaving from the dyeing process and the finishing process for many generations. And they pass this skill down to their children, and it's a real community. It's fair trade, and we really find it a very enjoyable experience to see how the rugs are made and to be part of that process and to bring those rugs to the modern world, so that that is something that will continue for many generations to come. All our rugs are available in any size, and that is priced by the square metre, so that it doesn't increase the price to have a custom rug. We make a standard size rug in around 8 weeks, depending on the size of the knot. The hand-woven rugs are a bit quicker, and the very fine knots take a little longer. Also, if you're having a very large rug, it's going to increase the time that it takes for somebody to knot the rug. But it's a very achievable product, and we wanted it to be achievable and accessible, and so that you're able to have the rug that you desire in a reasonable time frame and at a reasonable price point. Wool is the best material for a rug, in my opinion. It's not only sustainable, as we mentioned, but it's also got so many natural attributes. Because of the lanolin in the wool, the oil from the sheep literally, it creates a sort of protective coating around the fibre. The wool fibres are very strong, so they don't break like a synthetic fibre would. They're also very resilient, so they're made with a little crinkly element that makes them spring back to shape when they're trodden on or when furniture is placed on them. So a wool rug will hold its shape for a really long time, which is important. If we want to customize the color of a rug, we have a great rug tool which allows you to see in CAD, in computer-aided design, the actual design of the rug. You can zoom into photorealistic style so that you can even see the texture of the rug, and you can see the overall rug. You can point at any element, any motif within the rug, and it shows you what color that is. And then you can choose from the toolbar which color you want to replace it with, and then it will populate that motif with the new color. So you can play with the background, with the motifs. It's really fun, and it means that you can create the actual color that you really want and change the whole look of the design. If you want a softer look, you can make the background more similar to the motif. If you want more contrast, you can make a lighter background. It's great fun.